Okay guys, so we will be continuing with the concept of our string functions. So remaining functions, let us finish first and then we'll move on to the next things. Okay. The function what I wanted to discuss first with you is a function that is called as split. So split is again a string function. Purpose of the split function is to break my string into, what do you say, into different into a number of other sorry, it is used to break my string into, yes, sorry, different values. Say for example, let us take as example, I'm just saying yes is equal to, this is my string, so I'm saying Python is a good programming language. This is a string I'm having. What I'm saying is, now I want to break this string, that is I want to break each and every word separately. The string how it is having, the entire thing is given in one single string value. Now I'm saying space as my separator. I want to break each and every word separately. So how I can do that? For that purpose, I can make use of the split function. So understand, the purpose of the split function is to break the string into multiple values, into different values, how to break it. So how I'm going to give is, say I'm saying I'm taking another variable, say x is equal to s dot split. So this is how I'm going to make use of my function. Guys, is my voice audible or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Right. So
Ma'am, Praveen login wait பண்ணுங்க ஆட் பண்ணுங்க ma'am.
yeah, okay, done.
Okay, ma'am.
Thanks, done. So when I use a split function, see what happens. After this, I am printing the x value. Okay, so let us run this program. We run this. See how the string is now. Sorry, I'm still in my C programming mode, so I used printf. Sorry about that. Yes. See how is my program? Every word is broken into a separate value. And remember, split function, what is the purpose of the function? It is used to break down the string. Break down the string into multiple values based on a separator. Multiple values based on a separator. Now, first thing, let us understand what does this line means. Based on a separator means, how will I know this is the first word, this is the second word? There should be some separator, right? Something should separate the first word and the second word. Now, here my separator is a space. So, I am saying whatever is given after a space is a new word. That is how I'm going to take it. So, you are going to split a string into multiple values based on a separator, and in our case the separator is a single space, right? And what is the other important point you have to know is, after splitting after splitting the result of the function is always a list. Always a list. See here how the value is given within a list. That is, whenever I see a square bracket, I can confirm that it is a list. So the split function, what it does, after splitting the result of the function is always a list. Say for example, let it be anything. Say for example, I'm giving something like this. Let us take this as S1. I'm going to take this again another string as yes2. So I'm saying yes2 is equal to say 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I'm giving something like this. Then I'm saying x1. Okay, so I'm saying x1 is equal to s2 dot split off. Then let us print x2. See what my output is coming. Okay, have a look at my output this time. See, everything, whenever you use a split function, the split function will break the string and put each and every value separately into a list and give me. Like this only, it is going to be doing the work for me. So remember this point very, very carefully. Whenever I use a split function, it is going to separate my string based on a separator, and all the separated values will be placed inside a list, and that list is what the will be returned by this function. So whatever value this function is giving me, I am storing that inside the variable, and then I am going to print that. Right. Now, can I split only based on space? Nothing like that. You can use anything as your separator. Any value you can use it as a separator. Say for example, I am saying S3. S3 is equal to, I am saying this is my string value. See how I have used a hyphen? After each and every programming language, I am here creating all programming language names. After each and every programming language name, I am using a hyphen. So now I'm going to split this data. I want Java separately, C separately, C++ separately. So how to split this? I am going to say variable is equal to string dot split off. Here inside you have to pass the separator. You have to pass what is going to be my separator. So here what is the another important point you have to remember is, when you are going to use space as a separator, then you don't have to mention anything, because split function by default, okay, automatically split function will always separate the values based on space. So when you are going to use a space as a separator, no need to mention anything. You can simply call the split function like this. But if you are going to use anything other than space, then within the split function, within inside of the parenthesis, you have to mention this character. You have to mention the character that you are going to use it for splitting. So now in this program, since every data is separated with a hyphen, I am putting a hyphen here as a separator. So now when I run this, when I'm going to run this, see how it is giving? So Java separate, C separate, C++ separate, Python is separate, P is. So like this, I can use anything as a separator, provided if it is anything other than space, I have to mention that within a single quotes or a double quotes inside of my split function. Say for example, take this one. So I'm saying string equals to, let me copy the string. Okay, so here, see what is that I'm giving here? I'm giving the number 2. I'm giving a number value 2. Now I'm saying variable is equal to string dot split. How I have to split? Based on, so saying print that variable, run the code. Again, see what happens. So anything, You can use an alphabet, you can use a special character, anything you can use it as a split. It is entirely your choice how you want to do that. Okay, so this is another example of a split function. Okay, so now having said all this, let us try to understand where exactly is my split used within a program. So when I'm going to write a program, okay, where exactly I will be making use of my split function. So just have a look at this piece of code. So I'm saying yes is equal to input of, okay, then I'm saying hmm, just have a look at this piece of code, what I'm doing here. Okay, so first thing what we are going to do is, before printing it, I'm going to print all other things also. Let us print yes value, which is nothing but my string. Okay, let us print the L value, which is nothing but my list. That is after separating the list I'm going to be getting. Then I am saying print A, B, and C. Done. So let me run this piece of code. When I'm going to run this code, for yes, I am supposed to give an input. So remember, input is a function which is used to take the value dynamically from the user. That is when I'm going to run the program. It is going to ask me for the value dynamically. Right. So that is the purpose of my function here. That is the purpose of my function here. So let me run this. So here I'm going to give three values. Let me run it here using this compiler. Using the language. There you go. So run this. So yes. So what does it say? Enter three numbers. Then it is asking me for the input. So either you can write it like this, or you already know. You already know that the input function can take some value, some information. So inside of the input function also you can write this. So I can say enter three numbers. So either I can give like this or like what I gave the previous time. So anyway, see, it is going to ask me for three numbers. Okay. So I am saying 10, 20, 30. See, using a single input function, I am reading three values. I am reading three numbers and I'm going to store it inside the yes variable as a string. So press the enter button. Okay, so here after giving the value, press the enter button. See what happens. I'm getting the output as 60. Normally, if you want to read three numbers, how will I do it? I will write something like this, right? So A is equal to int of input of. Then same thing for B. Then same thing for C. This is how I'll give. Normal way of doing it is like this only. But here what I'm doing, using a single input function, I am able to read multiple values. And later how to separate that values using the split function. So all the three values together I am getting it as a string and I am storing it inside the yes variable. So when you print the yes variable, see what is the output you are getting. Yeah, see what is the output you are getting? String. Entire string as an. Now, when I say split, how is this numbers given? 10 space 20 space 30. So by default, the space is going to be my separator. So first it is going to create a list like this. 10 separately, 20 separately, 30 separately, a list is created. Right. Now, what is this? What is this? This is something which is called as unpacking. We call this concept as unpacking. That is, inside my list, okay, inside my list, I am having three values. Inside of the list, I am having three values. Now, here I am having three variables. Right. The first value will be assigned to the first variable. The second value will be given to the second variable. The third value will be assigned to the third variable. This is what you call as unpacking. Unpacking means what? This is a box. The list is like a box. Okay, from that, you are taking the things and giving it to the, say for example, you have seen some people come from foreign countries and all. They used to buy gifts. Say my brother, when he came from US, he usually bought gift for all of us in the family. So what he used to do, he gets all the things packed up in a suitcase. So as soon as he comes, he opens a suitcase, he does the unpacking work. That is, he takes the gift and give to each and every person. See, this I got it for you. This I got it for you. So what is happening there? The suitcase is becoming empty. The suitcase is actually, we are taking everything out and we are distributing it. So we are unpacking it. That is the same concept here also. So imagine this list as a suitcase. It is like a box. Inside the box, I am having three values. So these three values from the box, I am going to take it and then give it to these three variables. And this is the concept we call as unpacking. Right. So now A, B, C is having the value 10, 20 and 30 respectively. Now I'm trying to find the sum of these values. How to find the sum? Now there is one small thing here. See how the data is being stored in form of a string. See, within single quotes, inside the list, the number is present in single quotes. So it is a string value. It is a string value. Why it is a string? Because input function will always read the value in form of a string. So when you're splitting it, then it is going to be stored inside as a string. What will happen when I add a string values? When I'm simply saying a plus b plus c, what will happen here? Run this. Okay, say give the same values. See, whenever I use the plus operator on a string, remember concatenation, joining, that is what will happen. So, what will happen when I join 10, 20, 30? This is how my result will be. So, that is why I am converting. I am doing a typecasting or a type conversion. I am converting that into an integer. That is, I am converting that into a number and then I am performing my addition so that I will be able to do a numeric or arithmetic addition operator. I will be able to use the arithmetic addition here. So that is the reason why we are typecasting it here. For your understanding, I am printing everything. Otherwise, we can just print the sum value alone because that is the result I need. So when you print the yes in form of a string, all the values will be shown. When I'm printing L, the splitted values. So after splitting, A will be having the value 10, B 20, C is 30. Now I'm just summing all the three. So real-time usage, where I will be using the split function in my program is when you want to read multiple values in a single input statement, then we will always be going for the split function to separate the values. How to separate the value? Everything I got it stored it inside S. Then how to separate it? For that purpose, I will be using the split function. So this is one practical example of the split function where I will be making use of that function often is in this scenario. Right. So let me add this also. Then I will share this to you. Yes, there you go. Right. Okay. Now, what is the next function I have in category? So, this is how I will be making use of the function split. Right. The next function, what I have is a function that is called as join. Another very important function. Another very important function and very frequently used function is my join. Right. So now what is the purpose of this join function? So say in the previous example, we created a string, we splitted the string. This time let us do it like this. I am creating a list. So I am saying L is equal to. The list is having some string values. How to create a list? Within the square brackets, comma separated value is going to be my list. So say for example, this is my list. This is my list. So let us call it simply as L. So this is the list I am having. Now I want to print the output in this way. 1 space 2 space 3 space 4. I want to print the output in this manner. This is going to be my output. Now, if I am going to print the entire list, how is it going to get printed? So always remember when I say print L, how is it going to be printed? Within the square bracket, like this, in this same format, like this only it is going to get printed. See here. But I am saying I want the output to be printed like this. I don't want the square brackets. I don't want the square brackets. I don't want the numbers to be placed inside this single quotes. I don't want all those things. I don't want this comma. Those things are not required. I want the output just like this. So 1 space 2 space 3 space 4. That's all. So how to do this? For this purpose only, I have a function called as join. I have a function which is called as join. So how the join function works, please understand. So I am saying print. Okay. First, I have to use a separator. The syntax of using the join function is first you have to give the separator, then that string dot join inside give the name of the list. Inside give the name of the list. See how I'm saying? First comes my string value, that is the separator. So why the separator? First value is getting 1, second value is 2. There should be a space between. If I am writing like this, then how will I know which is the value? If I'm going to print like this, then how will I know which is the first value, which is the second value? No idea. So I need something to separate them. So that separator, what is the separator going to be? That I have to mention here. That needs to be mentioned here. Right, first thing. Then I'm going to say dot join. Which one I want to join? Which values I have to join? Value that is present inside this list. So mention the list name. Okay, first you are going to mention the string. The string is nothing but my separator. That is, I'm going to join something, but how to differentiate one value from the other? That is done with the help of my separator. Then, from where I have to join the numbers. From which list? The name of the list I am going to specify here. Now, when you run this code, see how is my output? If I am saying print L, how is my output coming? And same thing, if I am using join of L, see how is my output. So understand how the join function will be working. Okay, so here very important is the working of the join function. First, it will take the first value from the list. Always from the beginning. Always from the beginning. It will take the first value from the list. So what is the first value? 1. Okay, after taking the first value, it will join it using with the separator. It will join this value with the separator. That is, after one space will be added. Then it will automatically take the second value. So take the second value, then join it with the separator. The separator is nothing but a space here. Then take the next value. The next value is 3. Then join it with the separator. Then take the next value. So the next value is 4. So like that, it will automatically go from the beginning of the list to the end of the list. From the starting till the end. Automatically it will go one by one, one by one. You can use anything as a separator. Say for example, I want to print the output like this. 1, 2, 3, then what I will do? Here, within single quotes, I will give the comma as a separator. Now when you run this, see how is my output going to come? 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is how my join function will be working. Anything, whatever I want to use, I can use it. Suppose here I am saying hyphen. I am saying hyphen. Then it is going to print in that way. See? So that is the sole purpose of my join function. So what it will do? Take the value, join it with the separator. Then automatically go for the second value, join it. Go for the third value, join it. Go for the fourth value. The fourth value is the last value. So after this, again it will not go for the separator. Only if there is one more value, then it will join the separator. Otherwise, it will stop here itself. Okay, now have a look at this program. Same list. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to say for, okay, x in L. I am saying print x, comma, you are familiar with the end function, right? We already discussed that. I am saying end is equal to, okay, let us add a empty print statement so I'll get a blank line. Now run this piece of code. See what is the problem? I can do the same work. Okay, I can do the comma work using my loop also. No need for me to go for the join function. But what is the problem it comes? I have something called as end. So end is what? Where the cursor is going to go for. I am saying don't go for a new line. Always go for a space. So if I give like this, see what happens. First it will print the x value, which is nothing but 1. After that, add a comma. The cursor will not go for a new line. The cursor will just stay here. It is going to add a comma and wait. Then go for the second value, comma, wait, third value, fourth value. But here, see what is the problem I am getting? After the fourth value also the comma is added. That is little difficult for me. It is not the correct output. So that is why we will not be using this format. We prefer to use the join function for this purpose only. So the join function is much cleaner work. It is used to join the strings. The main purpose is it is a string function. It is used to join the strings together. So whichever way you want to print it, you can use it for the printing. Okay, so this is how I will be making use of the join function. Okay, say for example, let me tell you about one more example before moving on to the next function. There you go. Have a look at this program. Have a look at this program. So I'm having S1, I'm having S2. So what is the first thing I'm saying? S1 dot join of S2. So how is this going to work? Now, what is the S2 value? 1, 2, 3. So how it is going to do? Take the value. See, take the value. Take the first value. This is a string. So string is also index based. So what is the first index value? 1. What is the join says? S1. So what is S1? ABC. So it will join. Use that as a join. Then it will automatically take the second value from S2. What is the second value? 2. Then join. Again, what I have to join? I have to join S1. So what is S1? See, so again say ABC. So again go for the third one. Then it is not going to join because if there is another character only, it will go back to the join. Otherwise, it is going to stop here itself. So remember, whatever the name you are giving inside of the join function, it will start from each and every character, each and every index position. So 1 index position will be transferred each and every time. Okay, so it is going to join it with the string you are going to give here. See, this ABC is also a string. So this is as equivalent as, instead of variable name, it is as equivalent as you are giving here ABC. This is the same. Instead of this, I am storing this inside a variable and I am giving that variable name. That's all the differences. This is how I will be making use of my join function. So, split function, join function, two very important functions that we will be making use of in our programs a lot of times. Right. Then what is the next string function I'm having is a function that is called as swap case. So you know here case means what? Uppercase, lowercase. That is what we call as a case. Uppercase and lowercase alphabets. So swap case means what is whichever case, that is if the string is in uppercase, convert it into lowercase. If the string is in lowercase, then convert it into uppercase. So just the opposite, just the vice versa of it. Say for example here, the entire string is there in uppercase. So when I use s dot swap case, whatever case it is in, it will be converted to the opposite of that. Same way, whenever I am having a string like this, then whichever the character by character it will go. If the first one, if this is in uppercase, convert this to lowercase. This is in uppercase, convert it to lowercase. So like that, character by character it will go and it will be converted to the opposite of it. See here for this example, second example. C is in capital case, but in the output, see how is C coming? C is in lowercase. So remember, swap case is a function that is used to change the case for the character. So for my string, each and every character, whichever case it is therein, it will be converted to the opposite of it. That is the purpose of my swap case function. Right, this is a pretty simple function. Yes, the next important function what we will be discussing is a function that is called as replace. So replace. So replace, as the name suggests, what it is going to do? It is going to replace some characters. It is going to replace some characters. Say for example, this is my string. This is my string value. So what does the string say? When whatever happens for a reason. This is my string. So here, see how I am using the replace function. So since it is a string function, string name dot replace. So here the replace function, this is the old character and this is the new character. So this old character, that is this wherever in this string, wherever you are having small e, that will be replaced by capital E. Run this. See what happens. Wherever there is a small e, that will be replaced by a capital E. Right. So this is the purpose of the replace function. So to change a particular character from one thing to another thing, I will be using replace. So there are multiple ways in which I can use the replace. See here, I am saying comma 2. So here remember, replace function can take a maximum of 3 parameters. Maximum of 3 parameters. So what are they? Old character, new character, number of replacements. So the third thing says number of replacements. So number of replacement means what? So E can happen here multiple times. I want to do the change only for the first 2 E's. Not more than that. Only the first 2 E's I want to change. Run this code. You can see the difference. Here what happens? See, all the E's, wherever I am having 1 time, 2 time, 3 time, 4 time, 5 times, every E is getting replaced in the capital format. But see here, only the first 2 E's are getting replaced. All the other things remain in lowercase only. That is the third parameter, number of replacements. If I do not give anything, all the occurrences will be replaced. If I am giving the number, that much of occurrences only will be replaced. Right. And then not only, okay, not only a single character, we can replace the whole word also. It is our choice. What you want to do is entirely your choice. Say for example, I have happens, right? So happens, happens. Now see, not just a single character, but I can replace the whole word itself. That is the speciality of my replace function. So replace function can replace a single character. Replace function can replace a full word also, and you can specify the number of replacements. Suppose if I am giving here only as one, then only the first time will be replaced. Only the first time this word comes. See, only the first time is getting replaced. This is as it is. That is the function. Right. Then the other two function. Okay. The other two important functions. What I have is a function called as min and a max. As the name suggests, min means what? Minimum value. Max means what? Maximum value. Now, how is the minimum value and maximum value decided for a string? If it is a number, yes, I can understand. Minimum value, maximum value. Number, I can say smallest number, greatest number, largest number. But when it is a string, how is it happening? Based on the ASCII value. Remember what I have told you? Every string, that is every character, has an equivalent ASCII value. So when you are using the min and max function on a string, then it is going to give you the ASCII value. Whichever character is going to have the maximum ASCII value. Say for example, I'm giving here min and I'm giving here max. Both the functions I'm going to make use of. Right, let us run this piece of code. See what is that you are getting? Max is y. Max value is y. Min value is, let us say, what is the, I'm saying print. You remember the ORD function? So ORD of, I'm giving y and I'm giving the ORD of, I just want to know what is the ASCII value also. So run this. See what is that you're getting. What is the maximum number? 121. So y. ASCII value of y is 121. Okay, so what is the minimum ASCII character here? Which is nothing but for the character. So that is how your min and max function will be working. So always remember, min and max function will give us the values based on the ASCII. Right. Coming to the last function, what I have is a function called as title. So remember the function capitalize. Capitalize, what it will do? Entire string in lowercase except the first character. Here the title function, what it will do is every word inside a string, the first character of the word will be converted to uppercase. Say for example, title function, what it will do is in a string means what? It will be made up of different words, right? Every word's first character alone will be converted to a capital case. That is the work of the title function. See how it is. This is my string which says welcome to Python. Everything is in small case. Here when I print it, I'm saying yes dot title. So what happens? W, T and P are in converted to upper cases. Suppose, say for example, this is my string. So I'm saying yes is equal to, now when I'm saying print yes dot title. Okay, I'm saying yes dot title. See what happens. This entire string is in capital case, but when I say yes dot title, only the first character of the word will be in capital. All the remaining thing will be converted to a lowercase. So this is how my title function will be working. And all these are the different functions that are related to my strings. All the important functions I have discussed it, and if there are some more functions we will discuss about it when we are doing our programs, right? So I want you guys to please finish off the programs. I have already shared you the questions, so try to complete that question today. Okay, in the next session we will be discussing about the important concept of slicing. String slicing is our next topic.